Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And in today's video, what we have going on is another one of these like weekly update type videos. We're gonna be talking about 4 different projects. We're gonna be talking about Yield Robot. We're gonna be talking about RelyFund. We're gonna be talking about PGV, and then also Alpha Capital. And if you've been paying attention over, I don't know, maybe the last week, maybe not quite the last week, but I know towards the end of last week and into the weekend, we've seen an increase. And I think all of these projects really had dealt with this, but continued DDoS attacks across all these projects. So the dashboard of the dApps or DApps, whatever you want to call them, were going down. So people couldn't go and claim funds, all that stuff. However, if you are savvy with the smart contracts, you know that you can be able just to go claim your rewards directly from the smart contract. If you are new in DeFi, just understand that this is something that happens quite often. For whatever reason, people feel the need to go and try to bring down certain protocols. That's what it looks like was going on over the last couple of days or so. Sorry if you can hear stuff in the background, guys. But that is what we're going to be talking about today in this video. I have good information on every single project that we're going to be talking about today. These projects are something that are consistently still producing daily yield for myself and for people that are involved in them. Granted, they're all 4 of these projects that we're talking about today, extremely risky, right? Like we get into 1-2% a day or up to that, then, you know, obviously that is in the territory for something that, as we've seen in the past, be unsustainable. So just want to clarify that these are highly risky. You know, always make sure you're doing your own research and don't just watch some dumb YouTuber and and go jump off the deep end into any of these protocols. I myself have only invested risk capital into these. I learned my lesson with stable fund, and that's how we're choosing to do things moving forward. But before we get into the bulk of the content today, where we talk about these projects, let's go ahead and jump into the giveaway from last week. And what we do here, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and also drop a comment down below with your MetaMask wallet. And what that's going to do is enable you for the next round of giveaways. We do $50 in stablecoin giveaway every single week. So if that's something that you're potentially interested in, then make sure to drop a comment on this video today. But here's what we do. We take this link from last week's video. We come over to this random comment generator. We're going to filter duplicate users and filter on a specific text. Looking for that OX wallet. Answer this little question here. And we're going to grab the comments. So last week, I think we only had like 28 something comments. This week, we got 48 comments. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pull the winner today. And that is that name. I'm not even going to try to butcher that. But great video. 2022 certainly taught me to take profits until fully on house money before compounding. Thanks for the content. Love these projects. And he left his MetaMask wallet. So congrats to you, sir. What I would like you to do is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see some information with my socials, either on Twitter or on Discord. If you want to just shoot me a message over on there so I can verify that this is your wallet, and then I'll go ahead and get that sent out to you. Everybody that's won in the past has been able to claim, so or been able to message me and reach out and be able to collect that giveaway money. So again, congrats to you, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into our first project here. We're going to be talking about Yield Robot. Now, to kind of piggyback off that person's comment, if you guys have been watching the channel for any amount of time, even if it was just last week's video, I weigh heavily on the fact that I'm no longer compounding any of my funds into any of these protocols until I've hit my return on investment. So until I've pulled out enough money that is equal to the amount of money that I put in, I'm only worried about withdrawing. Like I'm not compounding. So that being said, we got some withdrawing to do today. Now, I do have some updates regarding Yield Robot, and I've kind of, what I do, guys, I curate this list of things that have happened throughout a protocol throughout the week, and this is where I get the content from to make these videos, right? So if I'm looking over here, I'm just looking at another screen where all this information is that I've been curating over the last week or so. So with Yield Robot, They are going to be airdropping the first 2,000 investors on January 12th an NFT. Also, the remaining 3,000, right, because it's up to the first 5,000 users. They're going to be airdropping the remaining 3,000 users in the future as well. And my contact over at Yield Robot said that that should be done later this week. So definitely look forward to that. They said, please look forward to our announcements. And of course, thank you for the Yield Robot community support. But essentially, with these NFTs are going to grant you an additional 1% on your investment amount. And I don't know the specific parameters around that. I just know that it's on the investment amount. I don't know if that includes compounds and things like that. And I don't also know if that's an additional 1% per day. That being said, expect those NFTs to start rolling out this coming week, and that's going to give you even more yield. Still to be determined. Like maybe they've shared it. I don't have time to sit in these Telegrams or Discords all day every day. Maybe they've released that information. So if you have that information, please allow yourself to leave a comment. Let me and the rest of the people watching this video know if that is the case, if you're going to be earning an additional 1% per day. That being said, let's go ahead and get into my position here in Yield Robot. So total staked amount, I put in $5,000. Obviously, it's not at $5,000 because there is a 3% development fee. So we have a total staked amount of $4,850. You can see here my claimable reward and my total claimed. And again, I'm going to go ahead and claim this while I'm talking. But again, I have made sure not to compound any funds, right, at all. So until we have this total reward at the same amount that we've put in, which is that $4,850, which theoretically wouldn't take too long because the return here is 2% per day. And then who knows, like if we get those NFTs and that's an additional 1%, then obviously that is going to allow me to get closer to the total staked amount in a relatively quicker amount of time. So you can see here I'm earning about $100 per day. We have some referral earnings. So guys, when I do my weekly giveaways and stuff, this is all money that comes out of like the referral earnings that I do. So those of you that have used my link, I greatly appreciate you. Let's see. Now I know that I think his name is Al, the lead guy over at Yield Robot, has done some AMAs. I know he did one recently with Jonathan Sellers over at the FUD Farm. And he mentioned something that, I don't know, it was kind of concerning for me. So they talked about KYC and they talked about having Al back on the channel to go ahead and show his face and do the whole KYC process live on video, which would be awesome, right? However, he kind of mentioned that they're using the KYC as a catalyst for the protocol to generate more hype. But I mean, I guess I can see the pros and cons there. From a project point of view, it makes sense. From an investor point of view, my thought process is, well, if this is a protocol that is not Ponzi in any nature, as they claim, well, then why would they need to use this as a catalyst to get more users in or more funds into the protocol? So, I mean, ideally, what I would love to see is to just have them do the KYC and understand that that's not really a reason to delay a KYC. That being said, that is about it that I wanted to cover on Your Robot. But let me know in the comment section what you think about them wanting to hold off on KYC and essentially use it as a catalyst, right? Excuse me. That being said, let's move on to RelyFund. So RelyFund, we had Brandon here on the channel for an AMA a couple weeks back. The protocol is still producing. They've released some very, very shocking numbers. Let me go ahead and pull that up on Discord real quick. But they did release some information with some trade results, which is kind of crazy. So week 2 trade logs, this was posted on the 7th. So 2 days ago. Futures trading. So 16 total trades, 11 wins, 5 losses for a total profit of $456,401. And then that's on their futures trading bot. And then their spot trading bot, they had 5 total trades, 4 wins, 1 losses with a profit of over $16,000. So $16,638 total profit for week 2, $473,039. They said due to the increase in market volatility last week, we have reduced the number of transactions and mainly seized a few big opportunities. In addition, the profit of the spot is less. We have reduced the number of transactions for spot trading. Obviously, spot trading and futures trading are 2 different things. So futures are using leverage. You can open long and short positions, and there's typically better gains to be made on the future side of trading. However, that goes hand in hand with additional risk, right? If we're talking about trading futures and things like that, obviously that's more risky because you could have the potential to get liquidated out of position and lose a whole bunch of capital, right? So that's also something to notate, that they're making a shift and allocating more money towards futures trading rather than spot. Obviously, they should know the numbers that they have to meet to keep up with the demand of the daily payouts of the up to 2%. But also, they have been going through some issues with their NFTs, right? So they're getting ready to publish this NFT, and don't even worry about this information because I believe it's not correct. But here's an example of their NFTs. Essentially, these NFTs are going to give you access to the RelyFund bot, to where you would have, from my understanding, potentially you would have access to this bot and be able to have full control of your funds. You could say, I want to put this much into this bot at this risk level, and run the bot that way on your own, as opposed to just doing it the way that they've done it now. Now, I don't think that it's either going to be one or the other. So you can also be invested in RelyFund, like I am personally, and also have access to these bots where you have a little bit more control over your capital. Also, I imagine that if you are not proficient at using a trading bot, well, I'm not going to make any generalizations yet because there's a lot of unknowns that we don't know about. So just kind of keep that in mind. But so they tried to launch the NFTs, and they had a bunch of issues based on the added security features that they implemented on the website due to all these DDoS attacks. So they tried to launch it last night. I was trying to get one myself. I was trying to get one of these like Wave 1 NFTs, which I believe are 750 USDC. However, they were running into issues where I would go to the site, and everybody else had the same issue too, right? It would say you are not whitelisted. So this is only for people that were in the protocol for X amount of time, or up to X dollars invested in the contract overall. So if you're one of those people that got in before that snapshot was taken, then you'd be whitelisted. But the problem is that it was telling the dashboard here was telling everybody that they were not whitelisted. So I know that they were able to sell a couple of them. However, they've gone ahead and postponed. So it says they're creating and deploying a new contract, and this is the most recent announcement from late last night and early this morning. They're creating and deploying a new contract. If you've minted already, your NFTs are still valid, but we will have another Wave 1 mint with another newer contract. Our new Wave 1 mint time will be, so today, it's going to be today, the 9th at 8 p.m. EST. Let's see. And like I said, they said it's due to the increase in security measures taken in the recent days that's given us these conflicting issues. So yeah, that is still yet to be seen. However, we know that they're going to still roll with the round, or with the Wave 1. And if you guys are unfamiliar, there's going to be 3 different waves. The first one is $750 USDC. Let me go pull these numbers up so I'm not giving you guys bad or wrong information. So Wave 1, $750 for the cost, and there's only going to be 100 of them, and that will, I believe, run for 24 hours. And then they open up wave 2, and there's going to be 300 of those NFTs available for release. However, the price per NFT goes up from $750 to $1,000. And then finally, wave 3, they're going to release 600 NFTs, and the price goes from 1,000 USDC all the way up to 1,250 USDC. So obviously, I'm trying to not spend 1,250 if I don't have to, and only have to spend that 750 USDC. That being said, let's go ahead and check out how this is going for me. Again, I put $5,000 into this protocol. You can see here that I've withdrawn $324, and I'm going to go ahead and make another withdrawal right now because my my countdown timer had expired, and I'm able to go ahead and claim now. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll hit the claim button. Confirm that transaction real quick. Sorry guys, if there's any background noise, I'm having some work done in the house. We're getting a doggy door put in downstairs for the dogs. We just moved into a new house, so it's been quite a process. So my apologies if there's any background noise. It's just what I'm dealing with today. That being said, only claiming, not compounding. That is how I'm choosing to go about it. So you can see here now, this is updated. Total withdrawn, $1,556 out of that $5,000 that we put in just a few weeks ago. That being said, still no update from Brandon as far as a KYC with a new company. I did post in their Telegram about that, just kind of asking. I know that some other YouTubers were asking if there was an update regarding the KYC. And I, to my knowledge, I know I haven't gotten a response. I don't know if anybody else has or if that's been addressed. But there were some people that did ask, like, hey, well, does it even matter that it's KYC? Well, the only reason it matters is because this is something that Brandon said that they were going to do, right? So I'm just curious on where that's at in the pipeline, if it's something they're focused on right now. Granted, I understand that they're trying to push these NFT stuff out, so that's something to be addressed as well. Who knows if they're going to do that in the future, but this is the information that we have now. So moving over to Prosperity Gem Ventures, it's been a minute since I talked about them. There's been quite a lot that has gone on over the last week, and the day that I updated my last video, I made a decision to go ahead and get a refund. Now, I had a bunch of people ask me why, and I had my reasons, and mainly it was because the contract balance, and they were supposed to hold an AMA that kept getting pushed off. So I decided to go ahead and request a refund. But not only that, my plan going into that was to get my refund and then jump back in once they open PGV back up to new investors. However, since the time that I requested my refund, and now they made some changes to the way that you have to request your refund to get rid of some scammers trying to hijack people's wallets and get refunds sent to different wallet addresses and things like that. So it was kind of a big issue that Manny and their team were having to deal with. So that being said, they asked me to go ahead and resubmit my refund request, and I decided not to because they just recently opened this back up to new investors, so I don't have a reason to get out anymore. And we can look over here on the Dune Analytics dashboard, and we can see that funds are being injected into the contract as well as new investors coming in. And for me, that is a good welcoming thing to see. By the way, guys, if you don't use Dune.com, then definitely check it out. Pretty much every project that we're talking about today here on the channel is on Dune. They have a dashboard just like this where you can get good information, up to date for the most part, up to date information on things that are going on within the protocol, where the contract balance is, all that stuff, how many new wallets are joining, all that. Very, very good information. But that being said, and the reason why I'm deciding to stay in is, well, because I'm almost to my next claim, which is tomorrow at 4:43 a.m. So I'm almost there. I've completely ROI'd. I've pulled out, I deposited $10,000. I pulled out $12,460, and even more so after tomorrow. So I've decided to stay in, but they have updated us a little bit on what's going on. Now, I know that PGV is going to be doing something regarding NFTs as well, so definitely check out their Discord for that information. But update from them, Manny says we'll be closing deposits on the Binance Smart. So to preface this is back open to new investors, right? So if this is something that you didn't have the opportunity to get into because it was closed, just know that if you, here, it's super risky, right? But if you missed the train and you weren't able to get in, now is the time to get in, because they're going to be closing deposits on the Binance Smart Chain contract once they hit 35 million in total deposits. And you can see where that is at now. So that 27 million, they have about $7 million, or $8 million, maybe a little bit less, give or take, until they close the BSC contract. That's the one that I'm invested in. Also, they have Polygon and Tron. But once Tron hits 15 million in total deposits, they're going to be closing that deposit, or that contract. Once Polygon hits 15 million as well, they're going to be closing Polygon. He says that we have to cap on trading volume eventually. From there, we are going to release a platform with training along with access to our bots for yourself. So we don't know if there's going to be additional charges. I'm sure there is, right? I'm sure there's going to be additional charges to be able to take advantage of using the bots for yourself. But he says that way you can use the bots for yourself and access everything that Manny has access to. So obviously there's going to be a fee or some kind of payment to PGV in order to have access to these bots, obviously. It says this will allow you to generate on a higher level on your own and manage everything yourself. I totally love that. I mean, who doesn't love having like more access to the amount of money that you put into something, right? He says that has been his ultimate goal from day one. And then also, he said tomorrow, but that's today. He said a 2FA, or two-factor authentication, will be ready tomorrow. We are still getting caught up on refunds and will be fully caught up by the end of tomorrow, which tomorrow is today. This is an announcement from yesterday. And then he says, from there, I will be posting some trade results. So it's been a little bit since we've had like concrete trade results. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing those things. But all in all, PGV has been something that's been around for the longest of the projects that we're talking about today, and it's still continuously producing that up to 2% per day, which is great, right? And I know that there's a lot of people that comment on my videos that say, oh, well, these things are super risky, these are scams. And you're right, they are super risky. I don't know if they're scams. We only know based off the information that's provided to us. But what I do know is that there's people in here from day one, like myself, that have been continuing to earn this up to 2% per day and have made quite a bit of money doing so. That being said, that doesn't detract from the level of risk. Now, since I've pulled out my initial investment, I'm a little bit less risky in my position here. But that being said, we still have access to go ahead and pull out these refunds whenever we'd like, which is always good to see. Alpha Capital, to kind of round up everything. Let's see updates on Alpha Capital. So I know one thing, since they launched, they've been increasing the deposit limit on the 4 different contracts. So BNB, BUSD, Matic, and USDC. However, it looks like they're raising it one more time. So this is the most recent update from Alpha Capital. It says the deposit limit is being raised one last time and will now be hard capped at $5 million, since we choose to go the compound only route after this is reached. So after they reach the $5 million total invested in the platform through all 4 of these contracts, they're not going to allow new investors or new depositors. You will only have access to be able to compound your earnings. And again, we're not compounding. I'm not compounding here on this channel. That's not what I'm doing anymore. So we're taking all of our earnings every day. We're claiming them. You can see I have some unclaimed rewards. I need to unlock my Ledger wallet though. But you can see here that I've earned $1,625, and I put in that same $5,000, and after fees, we're looking at $4,750. So, like I said, from now on, we'll only adjust the pools in case some get full and some don't, right? So let's just say BNB fills up, or BUSD fills up and there's still some room on the other contracts, then they can pull some from the other contracts, or lower the cap down on other contracts and increase the cap on like BUSD if it's full. But for the entire protocol across all 4 contracts, it's hard capped at $5 million. It says, but the total amount will always be the same. There will also be private Telegram and Discord chats where most of the activity will take place. He said, towards the end of the month, we will also migrate to a new contract, no action needed from users. That will be exactly the same as this one, with the only difference of no new investors accepted. So this is they're going to be implementing a new contract once the deposit limit is hit. That's not going to allow new investors, only allowing existing users to compound even if the max limit is reached, and can withdraw to another address from the contract in case addresses get compromised. So that's just another safety thing that they're going to implement. So say you have $10,000 in Alpha Capital, your MetaMask gets hacked, you'll have the option to be able to put in a different wallet address to be able to claim those funds. And then they will be implementing a max deposit limit for each user. I said we are still debating on which fee model we should choose after we stop new investors. All suggestions are welcome as always. I'm sure that there's more updates, but that was really the thing on Alpha Capital that I found to be the most interesting. Like I said, I know that there's some people that don't necessarily like the fact that they're continuing to increase this deposit limit or this deposit cap. But I mean, if they're still consistently paying out, then, you know, or still consistently hitting their percentage goals based on their trading volume, then I think that that's important. So total investment is $2 million. So there's still some room for growth there, as it will be capped at $5 million. I don't know how long it's going to take them to get to that place, but they are already planning for the future once they do hit that moment, or once they do hit that $5 million cap. So that's good to see that they're planning for that type of stuff. This video is getting extremely long, so if you guys found any value out of today's video, please make sure to please smash that like button. A lot of work goes into these videos, even more so now that I have to show my face. Well, I don't have to, right? I enjoy showing my face. I think it brings a little bit more trust and transparency to the channel. That being said, guys, that is going to wrap everything up that I wanted to cover today. I am going to be having some AMAs coming out this week with some new projects, so definitely stay tuned for that stuff. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and have a great day.